This is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
This is AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Alex Crusoe, and I'm down to dunk.
It's like baby bottle pop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is Adam Flagler, I'm down to dunk.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Cason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
I can't spell Lucas. Hey, how do you spell Lucas? How do you spell Lucas?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Nikola Topic, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Dylan Jones, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
And there's probably like 50 to 75 Beanie Babies.
Give me like your top 3 Pokemon.
Brother, I can't even name.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
Sometimes the way his brain works is it leaves a lot to be desired.
This is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
Charmander.
Charmander.
Or you're more of a Charmeleon guy.
Charmeleon.
This is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Schlecht. You know what it means?
Schlecht?
Yeah.
That means like bad.
It means bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, it was a good interview, so it wasn't bad.
J-Dub, year 3, and I'm down to dunk for the 3rd time. Thank you.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are NBA champions. I'm here with Fry Pod crew plus Al and McKelly in spirit. Guys, the Thunder are the champions, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Did you realize that you were a champion? Their eyes. Yes, I did. Alex, you got the rest of the verse, dude.
Yes, I did.
Al, you bought a ticket. Al, you bought a ticket last minute.
Yeah, dude.
This thing.
I spent $1,100. Shut up. I spent $1,100 to sit in the nosebleed. In fact, I sat right below Luke in Cloud City, like in a normal seat.
We were looking at each other.
We could look at each other the whole time.
That rocks.
And I did have to cancel something that I purchased a few weeks ago to make up some of the money, but it's good. We're good. Everything's fine. And I got a ton of snacks. Luke brought me snacks. Andrew's wife brought me snacks. I was sharing the snacks with the people I was with. I was sharing gummy bears around when things were getting good. It was a good time. It was worth the money.
Totally worth it.
I was like panicking buying. I bought one of those shirts that they're wearing like immediately. Spent $70 on it. Shit. And I was like, God, dude, $70. Could have spent $1,100 on the ticket.
There you go.
Which
That's
actually
true.
might have been worth it, but it's truly incredible, man. I don't know when we were talking about this before we jumped on. Is when did you all feel comfortable? Like when did you start feeling like your anxiety lower?
3 minutes.
At like 30 seconds left.
When Dylan Jones came in, honestly.
Yeah. There was probably around the 5-minute mark. I felt okay. It still felt uneasy in the building, but I felt okay. I actually went and sat. Amy and my boys were there at the game, and so I went and sat with them from the 5-minute mark until the 1-minute mark, just to kind of soak it in with them, And I did. We felt pretty good. Asher did not feel good though. He was like, "Dad, are we going to do this? Is this going to happen? Are you 100% sure?" He just got it's like, "Yes, they're going to do this."
It felt like a 2-point game in the fourth quarter.
It kind of did.
Because it was crazy because it was I don't know if it was the first time this series, but I think it was the first time this series they finally got up 20 on them. They got up 22 on them.
Yeah.
And then as they start chipping away, I'm thinking oh my God, if I'm looking at this from a Pacers perspective, what would be a better way to cap off their season than having another 20-point comeback? That would be the most Cinderella of Cinderella stories.
Dude.
And I was freaking out.
Yeah, I just didn't. So they go up 21, and I'm like, okay, and I'm standing up the rest of the time in my own house, and then Mathurin is just kind of uncontrollably running as hard as he can to the rim every possession. And I'm like, all right, well, this doesn't feel sustainable. He was getting to the rim, and I was like, okay, I think this is okay. I think this is going to be okay. And sure enough, It was okay. Championship. Hey, it's okay.
I was tweeting and like sending out stuff like a tweet at like 45 seconds or a minute, and then it was like 5 seconds by. I was like, I tweeted too soon. I gotta delete it. Like they get to come back, and I'm gonna feel so stupid. And it wasn't until like sub 30 seconds that I was like, okay, it's actually happening.
Yeah, that third quarter, one of the moments was the ultimate Dort moonball that went in, where it was just like that. I did not think that thing had a prayer. I just asked Lou about it like 5 minutes ago. I just ran out there on the court when I saw him walking through, and got him for a few minutes, and I was asking him about it. He was just like, "Yeah, I just threw that one up there and it went in." It's just,
Wild.
Just an unbelievable moment. And then really, I talked to J-Dub about this in the hallway back here. I was like, what did it feel like to see like Shea hit a three, Chet hit a three, you hit a three? Like that was a huge moment. Like that was
amazing.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like they're gonna win this one. And he was like, 3 big shots by the big three. It's like, okay.
Love that.
It was so huge too because J-Dub was not good in the first half.
No.
I was texting you guys about it. It just felt like he wasn't in the game yet.
He was
he had like one really good take to the basket, but other than that, he just felt invisible. And what it felt like anytime he was 1-on-1, he like couldn't get by his guy and he would just pass out. He just couldn't get anything going. But then second half.
Second half team.
Second half team.
Right. Luke was right all playoffs. Second half
team. They were at the halftime when they were up by 1, like down on like at like 106. There was like a big group of like 30 Pacers fans that were like chanting in the thing.
There were a lot of Pacers fans here.
There were a ton.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I went to the Omni Hotel before the game just because it had AC. And it was like 80% Pacers fans in there. And they were hyped.
Yeah.
They were very excited. Yeah.
But it was just like a little sneak preview. It's like, this would be terrible. If this goes bad, this will be terrible.
It felt like it was heading that way. Like the first half was so bad, and the offense just. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier tonight, and I was like, "Is this, in the sense of like self-inflicted? Will this be the hardest championship for this team? In the sense of you could feel the tension that they were existing with in this game, really the whole series, the whole playoffs after you got through the Memphis series, where it was like they just couldn't play free, and it just never felt really. You saw glimpses of it in the Pacer series, especially, where it never felt like them offensively, other than little spurts of it. Because ball intents and purposes, tonight's game was awful offensively. Like Shea was
so bad.
Shea was 8 of 27 from the field.
They shot under 30% again from 3.
It felt like Shea was looking for like the haymaker, over and over again in that fourth quarter, where it was like, this is going to be the shot that's going to kill him, and then it would just be like clank, and then they'd run it over to the other side and score, and you're like, it's a 12-point game. It's a 12-point game now.
But I will say he had the other side of that too, which was, hey, I'm going to drive and dish out to teammates. I'm going to find teammates tonight. He had, how many assists did he end up with? Over
12.
10.
12? Yeah. 29,
12.
5,
he was great. And even in that 3, session that we were talking about early, it was like Shea a 3, and then a Shea assist to a Chet 3, and then a Shea assist to a Dub 3.
Dude,
so
that
we did
also
have the other side of that.
We had just a terrible alley-oop attempt in this game.
There were multiple ones.
That was
the lob slams were not.
God, why do we still do that? That's
and then there was
so funny.
Do you guys remember the Caruso put-back dunk attempt? That would have been like the craziest.
That was insane.
Yeah, that rocked. It was kind of awesome. It was actually very cool.
Like it was kind of just an offensive rebound attempt, but while he was going with one hand, he was like, "I'm going to propel this towards the basket."
Oh God. The Thunder
Just
won.
like
The Thunder won the NBA Finals while shooting 29% from three for the series.
Dude,
that's crazy.
For the series, is there another team in the NBA that could shoot 29% from three in an NBA Finals and win?
But you make up with it with defense. I mean,
Yeah.
how many points off turnovers did they have tonight?
Well,
The
you
third
know,
quarter.
30, if not more than 30.
you could play defense and also hit threes, though, is the thing.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Like, how
could
many
do both.
teams that are bad at threes get that many points off turnovers? Tonight they had a lot. Tonight they had the defense.
That was the story of the game. Story of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third quarter they had it. That felt like quintessential Thunder run.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I think the run at some point was 18-2 or something. I can't remember the exact thing, but it was the turnovers turning to fast break points and it was everybody, like anybody that was on the floor. It was one of that, when Anthony Edwards says back in the Wolves series, it was like, 5 guys on one string. It's like this ability they have in these moments to play a defense that I've never seen it, at least not this closely, the way they play well together. And it really was everybody. I mean, you had a huge play where TJ McConnell got trapped in the corner and Caruso and Ihart was the one that actually created the turnover and then just kind of tossed it. And Kaysen was great tonight. I think he ended up being 6 of 8 from the field. Hit, I think, 2 or 3 of his threes, which is good. He's like, that's one of those guys where you're like, I would expect him in his second go round this deep into the playoffs to be far better in his consistency, because he was abysmal in Indiana and then was really good in the Oklahoma City games. And some of that might have been Mark, the transitioning him to the starting role for those few games. Like some of that might have had something to do with him being kind of off his game, but it was so starkly different to watch him at home than it was to watch him in Indiana, where he looked unplayable.
The only thing was though, like, he cannot guard TJ McConnell. Oh my God.
God,
I think TJ McConnell scored like 3 possessions in a row on him.
Who cares?
And who cares?
Who cares?
I'm leading into, I thought Chet was the best defender on TJ McConnell tonight.
Yes.
Like TJ McConnell got
I'm in
him
on
once.
that. I'm way in on that. Way in.
Because I saw some article about like OKC can't figure out TJ McConnell. They can't figure out a defender. After tonight's game, I'm like, it should have been Chet the whole time.
Dude,
Chet was the
rocked
best
it
on him.
tonight. Chet was so good tonight.
Yeah.
Chet was all the. I know,
And-
Andrew, you weren't there, but we did the super depressing post game pod up to the 6th game.
I listened to it while I mowed my lawn. Yep.
The amount of comments in our comment section that were
The
about
Chet-
trade
yeah.
Chet, get
The
rid
Chet
of Chet.
haters were out.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I said,
Chet
guess
is now
what?
an NBA. Chet's an NBA
Let's say-
champion now.
Yeah.
Fools.
You don't get to celebrate this championship. So
Yeah.
go-
Just remember, Chet haters, you're dumb. Dub haters from back in
Yes,
there, you're dumb.
we got everybody.
Michele.
We got everybody.
Hey.
Hey guys.
He's in. We got
This
everybody.
is amazing. I got to screenshot this. Everybody smile real quick. 3, 2, 1. Glorious. Ah, this makes my life right now. This
Michele.
is so good.
McKelly, the
We're
floor's
talking
yours.
about Chet, and I wanted to say, Chet has a record 5 blocks in a Finals Game 7 for the NBA of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, guys, I'm up since 3:30 a.m. It has been
Nice.
a blast. It's wow. Sticking with Chet, I mean, some of the late third quarter, early fourth quarter defense that he put up was just obscene. Like just everywhere, fantastic. It's and even the shot that he made a huge difference. So it was one night for Chet Holmgren. I mean, it's fantastic.
He felt like he was in control, which is what he wasn't in a lot of those games where he looked kind of his worst offensively, even though he still was impactful on the defensive end, but he just looked in control. He wasn't trying to do too much. He took that kind of, but the whole offense was such a slog, but he took that kind of Dirk-esque jump shot early in the game, and I was like, nah, and then it kind of dribbled in off of the front of the rim, but that was a big shot. And also that reminded me of maybe one of the most pivotal shots in the game was in the first half when Dub shot that three from the corner, and it hit multiple parts of the rim before it actually went down. That felt like a turning point for the whole team.
Definitely.
So
that was insane.
Yeah,
With like Clay, he had several that just rattled in.
Do you think that OKC will get a Christmas Day game next year?
Probably not.
Guys, look at
Probably
this.
not.
Look at this.
I love
That's a great shot. What
That's-
jacket is that? I like that jacket.
They all, a bunch of the guys had custom jackets that have like Lou had one, Dub had one. It's just like it's like high school stuff, college stuff, like where they grew up, like all stitched on these like very elaborate jackets. And that was Dub's. So Dub, I got Dub. Actually, this will go up on the Down to Dunk YouTube page later, but I was talking to Dub. I was like, what did you think when Shea handed you the finals MVP trophy on the stage? And he was like, it's kind of weird. He was like, that's yours. Like, that's your trophy. And then he went on to talk about like,
Shea said, pass it around. And he wanted the whole team to pass it around. And
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, you know, if your superstars like that, like he's cut from like the Steph Curry cloth, you know, like that's something that Steph would do. There's a lot of guys that just want to hold that thing and just want to like clutch it and like feel like I earned this. But Shea is like Steph. And I think that, you know, if you're Chet or if you're J-Dub or any of these guys, like there's a world where you're like, I could go and do this on my own.
Yeah.
But when you have the leader of the team that's like that, like honestly, like the humility that comes from Mark and from Shea are going to allow this team to stick together, because like they allow room for everybody to have their own, you know, career within all of this.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. It was on full display. It was very cool seeing everybody like in the locker room, on the court. I mean, it was a very surreal moment. I mean, Dub just told me that he felt like, you know, this whole night he was like watching, like his soul, just watching his body, like doing all this stuff. Like he just felt like this is, I can't even believe this is happening, you know, kind of thing.
Can I say something very stupid before I go?
Yes.
I am offended by the fact that nobody could really pop a bottle of champagne. Like, how can that happen? But anyhow, thank God it was Caruso that was there to help them out.
I'm surprised nobody brought one of those. You ever seen those sabers that people like?
Oh yeah. That is actually difficult to do. Ask Lindsey Vonn, for example. But anyhow, it's
McKelly, will we see you at the parade?
When are you flying in?
I'm going to catch the flight right now.
That'd be such a fun surprise.
But anyhow, enjoy, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, McKelly.
Good to see you,
See you,
McKelly. So
they were back there for a very short amount of time, like doing the champagne and stuff. Like they were not in the locker room for very long.
There's a ton of other stuff that like the expectation for them is like really quick. So one of the cool parts about, because I had these like delusions, like we're going downtown, and I'm just like, and then Luke and Alex are like, there was a shooting and Luke got ran over by a lime, and I was like,
Alex got hit by the lime.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm icing my calf right now.
Are you serious?
Dude, he got the guy creamed him.
The guy who hit me though, he was a sweetheart.
He was so nice about it.
He was so nice about it.
He was like, it was like, are you okay? Are you okay? You're okay. She was like, no. Are you really okay? And Alex is like, yeah, I'm fine.
It does hurt.
So
It does hurt.
What? What?
He got hit so hard they were both on the ground.
Icing my calf right now.
Wow. Al, you got some skinny Chet legs there, brother.
Why are your legs so skinny?
My legs have always been skinny.
No, they
What
weren't
the
before.
hell
They
did I
weren't
just
that
read?
skinny. They weren't that skinny before he was hit. The guy
Yeah,
took a few chunks out of him.
No wonder
took
you're
a big
dicing
chunk
that
off
calf.
me.
There's barely any calf there.
No, you can't see the backside of it. It's huge on the backside.
okay.
It's just sunken down into the couch.
My bad.
Oh my gosh.
So what was neat, what I was saying is I was like, I'm not going to go downtown. And SVP Scott Van Pelt just has, I mean, some of the best interviews.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched him, if you missed him, it's worth going back to watch. But he interviews Shea, interviews Dub, had Mark on, and it was kind of neat. SVP and Mark were both just like, nice to meet you. I'm Scott. Nice to meet you. My name's Mark, whatever. And every one of the interviews was that's a actual back and forth that they had. And then Scott, he does that with Sam Presti as well, because Sam and Scott had never met either.
Yeah.
So then it's SVP and Sam. So it's Mark, J-Dub, Shea, and Sam. And it was just great content, because for most of the playoffs, they've been doing these after games. When the Thunder win. And all the way up until this point, you just got the most guarded versions of Dub and Shea in their post-game interviews, where it's just like, it's, put this game behind you, get on to the next one, and blah, blah, blah. And it was what felt like, especially for Dub, it was the most Dub-like interview that I've seen up to this point, which was really cool. And then you just kind of, what you caught in those interviews with Mark, I mean, it was all of them, Shea, Mark, Dub, and Sam, is this thread of what Sam has always said, is that we draft and we go after people, like this quality of people. And then he talked about all of the kind of people in their orbits that help these men be the players and the coaches and the leaders that they are kind of on the team, which is really, it was a really sweet interview. So it's worth watching. I think worth watching all of those. And then just like a low key moment that meant a bunch to me was, and this is just Chet. I'm like, it's so surprising that Chet was the one that did this. So he hits the free throw, and he's the only one on the floor, I think, at the end of the game that was a starter. And as soon as the game is decided, his first thing he does is he walks over and hugs Clay Bennett.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, it's kind of a neat picture, because you can see Clay is kind of emotional. And then you can see his mother-in-law, Christy Gaylord Everest, is behind, and she's emotional. It's like all of these people that really like brought this move from Seattle to Oklahoma City. It's like these people seeing this vision for both the city and the team materializing in front of their very eyes. And there's no way, like, I also was thinking about the fact that like it has to mean something for them, for these people that also loved Aubrey McClendon, who was such a big part of getting this team here. And obviously he's passed away, but I don't know, there's a whole bunch of those kind of city elements that are also a part of this, and Chet's mindfulness to go over and hug Clay.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just was a really sweet moment to me. So
that
was kind of just a few of the highlights for me.
Maybe that you guys know the answer to this, but when was the last time you saw the first person speak be the GM? Isn't it always been the owner?
Yeah,
Like,
Clay basically. Clay said,
I thought
"Nope,
that
you
was
can
really
have it."
cool
Yeah.
that it was
Clay-
Presti.
Yeah, Clay is like that. Like this is a night where you just ask for everything. You ask to talk to every player. You ask to talk to everybody that's walking by. This is like the rules are gone. And Clay is one that just I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I know that other people tried to, and he just kind of declined comment and just kind of just made his way out of the building. He does not want to be like the face of this thing. He like wants Sam to, and Sam wants the players to, like they're like the guys that are making all like the big decisions want the players to get the glory for all of this, and that's, I don't know. It's
that uncommon thing that Mark says.
Yeah.
All the time. They're just
Yeah.
uncommon. The whole and it's a cultural thing. It starts at Clay and it works its way through Sam into the coaching staff, into all the players as well. They're just an uncommon collection of players and administrators and leaders. It is pretty special. And I mean, I know there's always going to be haters when people see excellence, man, but I don't know how you can hear some of the interviews and watch these guys play and see the spirit of this team and the way that the team is built and come out with critique about Oklahoma City, the team, the organization, any of those things. I think it's just people reaching for something, or it's birthed out of jealousy. Sorry that you're the Phoenix Suns and you have a listless franchise that's going nowhere.
I mean, they just did the thing that felt impossible, which is going as a small market team, going through tanking years and becoming a champion, and they did it in like 5 years total.
You know what I was thinking about, and I don't know if I was just kind of thinking about this all day. Like, if we won like this, what do you think the last event in Oklahoma was that was this big of a deal?
There's never been one.
Well, because when I was thinking, like, good or bad, like the last thing that was this level of thing was. Pardon?
No.
I mean,
the tragedy of the bombing is the only thing that is of historical significance. But
and
there's
you
not.
have but you have to think that this organization has made that such a focus that every player that they come through, that's the first thing that they have them do is go to the memorial. And so for it to end, like, have this where like now this is the thing that like, and the investment that the town did after that has led to this. It's like I see the through line through all that.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's really interesting when you think about like how the Thunder even got here, and like a lot of it is, the Clay Bennett, but this is a really interesting story. So back before they even had the Maps project, there was a bid for like this giant, I can't remember what the name of the company was, this giant company to put like a manufacturing plant in either Indianapolis or in Oklahoma City. And they basically let these people live in OKC and Indianapolis for like a short period of time. And it didn't land ended up coming to Oklahoma City because they're like, we would never, ever want to live there. Send it to Indianapolis. They built this huge thing in Indianapolis. They won the bid. The plant ended up shutting down like 5 years later anyways, but that was one of the catalysts for them. Yeah, gotcha. But that was the catalyst for them
double whammy tonight.
starting the Maps project.
Yeah.
Which without the Maps project, I don't know that any of this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like it's just cool, one, that it was like Indiana versus Oklahoma City, because like at one point there was like this bidding war, and the fact that the Thunder lost it ended up being like the best thing for them.
Well, I thought it was something to do with United Airlines.
I think it was United Airlines. Yes.
Yeah.
And
somebody in the chat.
It ended up failing.
But
it ended up failing.
Yeah. That's in the.
Which is just funny.
I think that's part of in the Boomtown story.
It is in Boomtown.
By the way, coming here to write some more about this story.
Sam Anderson was here. I talked to him back in the locker room. Big Down to Dunk listener. Also said that Slam-A-Jam is his favorite athletic podcast. Told me.
Wow.
And I'd seen him around, and he was like, I'm glad I met you. He's like, I know your voice, but he's like, I've never seen what you look like.
We should have him on. We should try to get him on.
I already told him that. He said he said I would love to come on your show.
Nice. Maybe I could do Oklahoma themed trivia.
He would do it. He would do it. He said he loves the trivia. Yeah.
I saw
nice.
I saw him talk to Ben Rector. I think Amy wants him talk to him about getting on the pod.
Ben Rector said that he's going to come on the pod too.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
Yep. I got his contact info. He's going to come on the pod.
We're going to have a big week. What?
Hey, will you send him a text and tell him to tell others that I have 2 tickets to his festival in St. Louis for Friday night that I can't go to? I need to sell, please.
Please.
Like, I don't know how to sell those, but anyway.
Please.
Hey,
check
what
this
we're
out.
talking about?
I got a cork from the.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, that is tight.
Ben
You should get
Gulliver. Ben
you should get
Gulliver walked
signed.
by me, and he walked by me, and he was like, "Open your hand." And I opened my hand, and he was like, "You're gonna want to hang on to that."
That's tight.
Like, oh,
Hey,
man.
real quick, can we talk about Kristen Chenoweth? Because I thought she did
God.
an amazing job.
Killed it.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
such a cool way to start the game.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She was like everything you would hope
Yeah.
it was going to be. It was very cool. It was a cool way to start the game.
Yeah. She
Agreed.
rocked it.
Yeah.
She
Good.
rocked
And I
it.
like that the crowd by the end is always singing along.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It's really cool.
That
It's
was really
they sing to two songs. It's the national anthem and then Ludacris's
Move. Yeah.
Move.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. I can't believe they played it again.
God, it was
They
awesome.
played it multiple times.
Yeah.
So I do want to say, like Andrew, you were alluding to this, and I was thinking about this on Game 6, and just processing. I've been in Oklahoma City for 43 years. You know, obviously, I was born and raised here, and still live here, and have never left. And this is the only place I know and will ever be. But truthfully, like, I was trying to kind of evaluate, like, looking at our history, and Boomtown's such a great resource for our history, but looking at the history of the city, this is the greatest moment in the history of the city. Other than obviously the bombing, as far as the most historical moment, and then the response is probably where that Oklahoma Standard idea comes from. Obviously, one of the most powerful moments for the city was the recovery effort and the response. But I don't know of any other moment like what happened tonight and what's going to happen Tuesday as part of the parade. It's just, and I'm still like, I kept at the end of the game tonight, I was like, I don't know how, and Luke actually said it in a text thread. It's like, what do we do now?
What do we do?
Well,
It's like-
because it kind of felt like the culmination of this city being built up, like
Yeah.
over the last 3 decades. Like this felt like what it was all building towards. Because once you get a professional sports championship, like that cements your city forever.
Yeah.
Banners hang forever. And
Interesting forever.
it's just a huge deal. And I was actually thinking as the game was winding down, like how fortunate we are, our age. There's other people who are younger than us could say this too, but
Yeah.
we have experienced every single moment of a franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like every single moment. Like
Yep.
like there's no Celtics fans that are alive that can say that. Well, I mean, there
True.
probably are some, but
Dude,
they're
we're
really
gonna
old.
be like 90 and be like, I saw every single thing that happened for the Thunder.
Like
Can't
Luke
wait.
was showing me a picture of Mick Cornett. He got his
Yeah.
game ticket for the very first game against the
Yeah.
Bucks. He got it graded by
Yeah,
PSA.
graded. And an 8.
He got an 8. He got a near mint.
Needs to come on.
I'd crack that. I'd crack that. I'd send it back. Try to get a 9.
He needs to get it. He needs to get it pressed and then resend it in.
But
Yeah.
it's just crazy. Like that's the oldest the history goes back, and we were
Yeah.
all there. Like I
Yeah.
was at that game.
Yeah.
We've seen everything. Everything
know,
this franchise has
we
had
have.
to offer. We've
That's
seen
true.
it.
It's true.
Yeah, I
This
remember
has
when
been-
the logo and the name was finally revealed. I remember watching the summer rookie camp where they went. I actually thought, I was like, damn, if that's their jersey, that's incredible. It was the black ones that just the Oklahoma City
With like
on
the
it.
circle. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, whoa, this is a cool idea. Next thing you know, it's like, and it's the same one we still have actually. But
Yeah.
it is, you've walked through this journey with this team. And there was I was emotional in moments, and watching J-Dub get emotional, and just the whole I mean, we really have the whole experience. And what's even crazier is like just to acknowledge the fact that for us as a podcast is we've been doing this for what 3 years or 4 years shy of the entire franchise's history.
This was our 13th season.
13. Wow.
And we've like through that have like become adults, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so the first season was 08-09, and I was 17 years old, and I turned 34 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So that legitimately half of my life has been the Thunder. And another thing I was going to say was when Sam Presti was talking, I was thinking about an old article. Maybe you guys can help me remember who wrote this, but it was about Sam Presti going on like silence retreats in the off season. Do you guys remember this? Did I dream this?
Okay.
Sounds like a Barry Trammell article.
But I just remember like reading about this so long ago, about how he would go on these silence retreats, and basically the whole article was about Sam Presti like doing everything he can in his own life, like spiritual life, personal life, to make the best decisions possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then to like think about Clay Bennett trusting Sam, and then Sam making the best decisions he can and trusting the coach, and then the coach making the best decisions they can and trusting the leaders of their team, and then the leaders trusting their players, you know, the role players. And it's just like, man, it really takes a lot for this to happen, unless you're the LA Lakers and can buy LeBron or Luka. But yeah, for like a small market team, it's like, it's such a huge mountain to climb.
Yeah. You have to have elite leadership from the very top down to do it. And like the only other comparable organization is San Antonio.
Yeah.
You know, and the Thunder, I think they've been this caliber since they've been here. Like they've had the same guys, you know, leading this, but it finally all came together. And it's cool because you think about Sam and the kind of team that he would want to have. This is the kind of team that he would want to have.
That's what I was going to say.
Kind of guys.
It must be so satisfying. Obviously, it would have been amazing if Katie and Russ had won, but it has to be so satisfying to build a team from scratch like this again, and to get this collection of players and this coach, and for it all to work perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is such in Presti's image.
It's also this philosophy of like making the best decision that is right now that does not necessarily mean to a direct success, right? So it's like he drafts all the right people when he's in Seattle and all the way through with Russ, KD, Harden. And then he turns, you know, eventually you get Oladipo that turns into Paul George, and you get Paul George that turns into Shea. And you have all these other little tiny decisions that feel little, but they feel like little wins. But they all turn into this somewhere or another. You know, like every single player on this team, you can trace back to like a decision that was made years ago.
Yeah.
That led to this. And that just feels so special and yeah.
Also,
just cool.
Like with this team, for it to happen in like with this group of guys on like year 3, like we get this same team next year. We're gonna have we get this team, and they did it this early. Like it's so cool.
So the youngest team ever to win a championship, right?
I think that Portland team is technically younger, in like 74, 75 or something like that. The Bill Walton
77,
one.
which is crazy.
That doesn't matter.
But isn't that so crazy? It's 77 because like guys went to college for 4 years back then, and somehow they were still the youngest.
Yeah, and it's pre-shot clock era as well. If that's, you know, a qualifier that helps. One of the other things you kind of alluded to this, I think, Luke, but you actually this is why I like the SVP interviews of Sam, because it was like he was kind of candid more than you see from Sam. Number one, I wish I could have also had his lips reading, like the lip readers of Sam and Mark's conversation. I thought that was I was like, I bet that was a really cool moment between the two of them. And then the SVP.
You wish you could have his lips, dude.
Yeah, the lip reader. Sorry, it's 2 a.m. And then the other thing was Sam, you could even see in his response to SVP when he talked about the timeline, that Sam was surprised that it materialized this quickly. Like he was just like, yeah, probably a little quicker than I even anticipated. And that because Scott was like, you know, I couldn't really see the vision. I didn't like the way some of these things were being started whenever y'all started to reorganize and, you know, replenish and all of the different things. And he says, and look where we are today. And Sam kind of acknowledges like, yeah, it went a little even quicker than I thought it would. That's pretty cool.
But it's so awesome that they got it this year. Like, just like the next 5 years just feel like they're going to be so much more fun now. knowing
Oh,
that this like
yes.
monkey is off the back of this entire franchise and Presti. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember that article that came out that was like ranking all the executives, and Presti was number one. And I think he was like the only guy in the top 10 who like didn't have a championship yet. And I always thought that was kind of weird, even though like he's deserving of it. He just needed the ring, you know? And
Yeah.
now he has that. I just feel like, man, these next couple years are gonna be so much fun. Like
Yeah.
this team's only going to get better. And with the West getting better, like to get it now, to
Yeah,
get
just
it,
just the expectations change. Like
it's a, it's
how much different do the playoffs feel next year?
oh, it's. I mean,
Like
it'll
I still want them to win. I still want them to win a championship, but I'm not
absolutely.
going to be sitting here like all day today, basically
Yeah.
in my nerves. You know, it's like it just changes everything
Yeah.
to get this. And you all talked about it in your Game 7 preview. It's like look at Giannis, look at Jokic, look at the Nuggets and the Bucks. Like they had the one, or even the Raptors. The Raptors got a pass for what the last 5 years, 6 years almost now because they got that 2019 championship.
Well, Kawhi's the one who's gotten the pass because it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. He won with two
Yep.
franchises.
But even tonight, you watched like how Pascal played. You're like, yeah, that guy's won. Like he could play in this game, and he was so good until T.J. McConnell took over in the third, and then Pascal was like not really there. But yeah, you watch him and you watch Caruso, who's won, and dude, how big was Caruso in this?
Did you
My
guys?
God,
I feel like he got the biggest pop from the crowd
for
after
sure.
the game when they
He
brought
did
him
for
up,
sure. Not even close.
Yeah.
which was
Not
very
even
cool.
close. I
Yeah.
talked to Caruso's parents for a while after all the big celebrations and everything. And they were talking about how much they love this city and how much they love the people here. Like he's like comparing it to like Chicago and LA and how much that they love. Like they're like, we just love how much they love our son. We love how much, like, there's like they just feel at home here. It's just it's really cool to like see. It's kind of surreal, like talking to them and them talking like about Alex. Like he's like it's their little Alex, like it's just kind of like strange. But yeah, Caruso. I mean, he'll Thunder player for life.
Yeah, forever.
Did you hear that Lakers fans are really pissed at him for what he said?
What did he say?
What did he say?
They asked him about getting a second ring, and he was like, "Well, yeah, now I got a real one, so no one can take it away from me."
Yeah,
he was making a joke about how people discount the bubble.
Yeah,
he's right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Lakers fans got pissed that he said
right
it.
about that.
That's hilarious. Man.
My other favorite moment was Hartenstein's kid just being completely passed out.
Yeah, that rocked.
At
That
the
also
loudest
rocked
moments.
so
That's
much.
so cute.
That was very cute.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was
Just
so amazing.
it was so cool that Shea shared that trophy like with J-Dub at that moment because like I saw, I think it was on TV in one of his interviews, he was talking about like, he's part of this. It's like we're connected forever. Like you can never leave me. Like just to like put that in like the personalities of these guys of like they just feel so different than what we've ever had before, and it just feels like so much more of a team. And man,
Well, it's just the
really
hierarchy
cool.
is like nailed in.
Yeah,
There are
but
zero questions from anyone within the team, from the fan base. Like everyone understands the hierarchy.
yeah,
That's a cool pick.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Oh, this is a
share
video.
this. It's a video. It's my video with him. Let me see if I can share this. Let me know if you can hear this.
Okay. Can you turn it up anymore?
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Not really.
It's really quiet.
It's really quiet. I don't know how to make it louder.
Look at that jub. Look at that jub on his teeth.
I love being the first. It's super dope. The city deserves it, bro. From standing outside 3 a.m., 4 a.m., waiting for us to get off the plane, like, you can't make that up. So I'm happy. This ring is obviously for Oklahoma and everything they've been through just throughout all the years of struggle and being so close and not winning. What did it feel like getting that Finals MVP trophy handed to you from Shea? It felt weird. It felt like he should have had it. But it was cool. It just shows the teammate he is and the bond that we have. Congratulations. Appreciate you, bro.
That's so cool.
That is awesome. They're just such thoughtful guys.
Well, it's crazy how young they are, and now they are champions.
Like they're
especially Dub and Chet. The fact that those two guys are NBA champions. Like Shea, I get. Like Shea's an MVP.
Yeah.
Like he's in his prime. Like, dude, Dub and Chet are so young.
So young.
They're in their third year.
Shea, MVP, scoring champion, Finals MVP, 26
Western
years old.
Conference.
Western
Finals
Conference
MVP.
Finals champion, MVP.
Man.
Game 7 Finals, the 5th in 30 years. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to. I still am like, I'm saying all this trying to like tell myself that this happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's he one of, I think, 4 guys that did the scoring champion, regular season MVP, and finals MVP.
Yeah, that was
like
the very first thing Silver said.
like
when he
Jerry
started talking
West,
about it.
James Worthy, Shaquille O'Neal, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wow.
It's just
Where,
like
so that guy's in our city. That guy
Like-
is leading the team that is in Oklahoma City.
and
That
now
guy
like
goes to the same public park that I take my kids to.
That's right.
where are we putting the statue? I mean,
Golly,
they get it, you know?
Yeah, they do.
Man.
Yeah. All right, let's rank Thunder all time.
Well, that's
Shea.
Shea number 1.
Shea.
It's
Because this
Shea's
is what we
one.
said. Shea number 1. Is it Russ and then KD?
J-Dub number 2. He has a championship. The other guy.
Okay, J-Dub number 2.
Dort.
Dylan
number 3.
Jones.
Dylan Jones. Oos. Oos has a championship.
Yep.
He has
We
2.
don't get here without Oos.
Oos has a
has-
G League MVP, G League champion,
Yep.
NBA championship.
That's right.
AJ Mitchell played finals minutes,
Yeah, he
He
did.
did.
so he's
that
up
was
there.
that was another thing is you heard a lot. Mark and I think a few other people had mentioned Kenrich and how important Kenrich is to this team, and Mark called him the soul of the team.
Yeah.
Like Kenrich is the soul of this team because he was like, it's not just the guys Shea and Dub, all these different things. Like you also have guys like, and Kenrich specifically got his praise.
Didn't Presti have a quote recently that was like, he was talking about rebuilding, and he said it's not just about having veterans; it's about having the right veterans. Like you don't like in those tanking years, I felt like that was a big thing from the outside, where it's like this team needs more veterans. You can't just throw out a bunch of 20-year-olds. But they did have guys like Kenrich and Mike Muscala. Like they had
Yeah.
good vets.
Yeah.
Well, they started.
Brad
I mean, they
Lucas is
started
getting the
with
title.
Chris Paul, who like seemed to take Shea under his wing the whole season, and really gave Shea that like, hey, this is what a leader is thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. We're so good.
I feel
We're so good. We won it, dudes.
Yeah.
I
feel very
can't
confident.
believe it.
I feel very confident saying this now, but like you think about all the hate that this team got, and especially Shea got during this playoff run, and it seems so obvious now in retrospect that that was just the manifestation of like people coming to terms with how great Shea is
Yeah.
and like being forced to acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we do this with stars all the time. Like
Yeah.
I remember in the 2015 playoffs when it was like a jump shooting team's never going to win the championship. Like
Mhm.
they're just going to get beat up. Like I know how you need to guard Steph. You just got to beat them up. And then Steph wins, and it's like, oh, okay, now we accept it. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see if something like that happens with Shea over this next year,
Well, it
where people
happened.
just realize how good he is.
It just happened with Tatum, right? I mean, Tatum and the Celtics had that until last year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it was, oh yeah, Tatum's up there.
Well,
He's
it
one of the
was
greats.
just this was like this finals. It was like these are new stars.
Yeah.
Like there was not an an old like traditional like NBA name in this. Like we didn't get a Christmas game. this is not, and
You're
for this
so
to be like,
pissed about that.
this is who focus like
Yeah.
now, like it's like now I think people are gonna take us a whole lot more seriously because I think it was that they didn't throughout the whole season.
Well, they didn't. I saw on Thunder Reddit they had that Windhorse quote from the beginning of the playoffs, where it was like, no one's worried, no one's scared of the Thunder or whatever it was.
Yeah,
The start of the playoffs was if the Lakers play, they'll probably win.
Lakers have been on vacation for 2 months.
seriously,
Yeah.
it feels like it's been a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the draft is in 2 days.
Oh yeah,
God.
it's
Who
probably a good time to
cares?
switch the conversation. Let's switch to draft talk. Let's
Listen,
break it all down.
you came here for draft talk. We're gonna give you draft talk.
We got a parade talk.
Listen, we have a parade. Listen, this is what's going to happen. You guys come over tomorrow to my house. We're going to do a live stream. I would love to I'm going to text some people and have people just pop on. Like, I'd love to have like Carson Cunningham pop on. I'd love to have Eddie Radosevich hop on. I'd like to just like run through the gamut of like people to like celebrate this championship with a championship.
I bet we
live
could
stream.
get Mayor Holt.
See if we can get Mayor Holt. Talk to Mayor Holt after the game too.
You call him Dr. Mayor Holt.
You call him Dr. Mayor
I
Holt.
said I talked to Mayor Holt on the court after the game. Dr. Mayor Holt after the game. Yeah, I think that, and then we'll do the live stream parade the next day. Draft party at the Jones Assembly on Wednesday night.
Which is kind of just a championship celebration.
I'm so glad they won because of that party. Like, that
I
party's gonna
can't-
be so much more fun.
I can't wait for people to be pissed about our picks on Wednesday.
That'll be
Don't
so
give a
fun.
crap.
Hilarious.
Who cares?
Be like, what?
Who cares? Pick whoever you want. Oh Lord, I'm not gonna know any of them are no matter what.
I don't give a hell damn who they are. I don't.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't give a
Whoa.
freaking heck.
Watch it.
dude.
Oh,
I don't
Taylor.
give frick.
No, Taylor, you're gonna get canceled.
No, okay, cancel me. I don't give a freaking heck. I don't give a dang who they are.
Welcome
Cancel
to
me.
the
I
team.
don't-
Well, you should care because Wednesday we're gonna have strong opinions by Wednesday.
Welcome to the team.
We're gonna have strong opinions by Wednesday. So
Unless they move up to like 1, I'm pretty much don't care. Actually, if they
Wow.
got top 5 and got Knipple, that would be great. That's
No,
what I want.
if they get Coward, I would be pumped.
Don't even know who that is. Taylor,
It's
who's
Colin-
Coward?
Colin Coward.
Colin Coward?
Colin Coward.
Yeah, he entered his name
Bro.
in the draft.
He's gonna be
Crazy.
sick.
He probably
bro.
has just enough arrogance to think he could.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
good.
draft him. He has just enough arrogance for me to believe in him.
Hey, Luke, off the top of your head,
Anybody shoot in the draft?
yeah, Coward.
Coward can shoot.
Colin Coward?
Colin
Is
Coward.
Coward, yeah.
God, now I can't remember his first name because you keep saying Colin Coward. Cedric Coward. Thank you.
Cedric's his middle name.
Colin
Cedric
Cedric
Coward.
Coward.
Luke, off the top of your head, can you tell everyone what the parade route is? I just saw you look at it for 5 seconds.
No,
It starts
Yeah.
at 10th and Harvey. So it starts
That's
at
right.
10th and Harvey. And
10th
it
and
kind of moves
Harvey.
over to Walker, and then it kind of weaves its way
Yeah.
down and ends at Scissortail.
Ends at Scissortail, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to listen. If you are planning on going, you need to go on. I think it's like OKCparade.com, but you can go on and actually look at the route, and they also are telling you what streets are going to be open and closed at what time. So they're shutting down streets at like 7:30 in the morning.
What are you?
Okay.
Wake up and go.
If what?
I gotta wake up, dude. Get
Wake up.
downtown. You gotta go.
Hey,
You need to get down there at like. I mean, we're planning on getting down there like 6:30 or 7.
In the morning?
Yeah,
What?
what?
What are you
I'm
gonna
telling you,
do?
I'm telling you, it's gonna. It starts at 10:30. If you want to
What
be
are you-
anywhere close, I'm telling you, it's going to be insane.
It's gonna be
They're expecting 500,000 people downtown.
I'll just
How-
I'll just
what?
punch
Is
people.
that
Punch
true?
them in the kidney.
Yes, okay.
Half a milli?
might
Yes.
and maybe more. Yeah.
What?
Maybe
How are-
more?
Where am I gonna park?
That's why you go down there early.
That's why you should get there early. We have a few super chats before we get out of here, guys. We'll have more pods. We'll basically probably pod every single day this week. So
This is probably the sleepiest pod you're going to get.
Dude.
The other ones will be wide awake.
just get ready. Just get ready. Nick Hicks, which is Chick Hicks's brother, I heard. Shave my heads
From
for
Cars?
Yeah, from Cars. For Caruso boys. Anything? Was it Jet? What?
I just like that you said that and didn't even say what the reference was. You just thought people would just know who Chick Hicks was.
You guys don't know Chick Hicks?
I
Chick
do
Hicks
because I
from
watch Cars
Cars.
once a day.
I know him from Cars, dude. I'm about
What
to
other-
see him in a couple weeks.
What other Chick Hicks are there? Okay, next one. Sam Senior or Sam Senor. I don't know
Sam
which.
Senor.
New Zealand down to dunk listener since 2019.
Definitely not
Oh.
Senor, not New Zealand.
Found DTD after I wanted to find some analysis as I was so excited about the signing of Markieff Morris. Yeah. We were probably so pumped about that.
We
Oh,
were.
no,
We were.
Absolutely were.
Oh, we were
were.
pumped. We were like, man, we just need one more rotation player. That's all
He
we
did-
needed for this team.
He did
Yep.
nothing.
He did nothing. And then Danielson, he says, Usman Jang is an NBA champion.
Oh, yeah, he
Congrats,
is.
guys. Shout out to Us.
Man.
Nothing y'all can do.
Can I wish a happy birthday real quick? Oh, keep going.
Danielson, need one more. When we draft Danny Wolf, can we give him a ring? Nope, he's got to
Oh,
go earn
okay.
it. He's gotta
Actually,
earn
this is related to Danny Wolf. Did you see that Phoenix is rumored to want Danny Wolf at 10?
it. No
Isn't
way.
that crazy?
No
I
way.
swear. There's some rumors going around.
No,
I
bro.
I wanted to wish a happy birthday to a feller I met the other day named Bentley.
Yeah.
He had me over to his house. My son threw up all over his kitchen. But it was his birthday today on Game 7.
Wow.
Unlike Taylor, had a great birthday because Taylor's
Wow.
birthday was on Game 6. And mine was
Wow.
on Game 5. So.
Yep.
I want to give a special shout out to Dane Metropolis.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Dane
For real.
Metropolis, if you're listening, we heard
God.
about you
Dane.
because you met our friend Dusty at church.
Yeah.
And we all love you.
We love you from Australia.
We love
From
you,
Australia.
Dane.
Thanks for
Love you,
coming.
Dane.
You have
We
a
love you, Dane
dope
Metropolis.
name, dude.
You have the coolest name ever. I hope you're at if you come to the draft party, please come and introduce yourself.
Please find
Please
us
do.
in Metropolis.
I was
Please.
asking everyone who walked by us at the arena, "Are you Dane Metropolis?"
Are you Dane Metropolis?
Oh, by the way, we met a ton of dunkers tonight.
Tons
Shout
of
out to
dunkers.
everyone who came up. said
Yeah,
hi.
there-
Me and the L Man took a lot of pics together.
Yeah, tag us in the pics. That was awesome.
Dude, tag us in the pit.
We were in the streets, just taking pics with people.
my knees.
Taking pics in the streets with the people.
Did you ever share that video?
Yeah.
we
on
shared
social?
Yes.
You
yeah,
did?
we
Okay.
did. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
Hey,
so
Rick
glad.
Carlisle. Enjoy
Dude,
seeing
Rick-
those buses you saw earlier today.
For real, man.
Dumbass.
Dude,
out
the buses. The
Hey,
buses.
Was
The
there a split
buses.
second though where you were a little worried because like
Oh yeah,
we're getting
the whole
no
game, I was a
information,
little worried.
and then I saw that and I was like, it was the only information I'd gotten so far about the game. I didn't even know who the starters were, and I was like, oh come on, this can't be the first thing I
I
see
was
about this
pissed.
game.
You know what it
was
showed?
I was so pissed.
It showed desperation on the part of Rick Carlisle. I think he
Mm.
knew that they were going into this game at a huge disadvantage. And so he needed to drum something up to try to create some controversy because it's like he knows good and well that there are those same buses in Indianapolis with the
Yeah.
Pacer stuff on it. In fact, he knows that in this building somewhere, there are shirts that say Indiana Pacers World Champions here. Oh, I heard this detail. I thought this was really interesting to go away from Rick Carlisle. So the teams have to buy all of like the champagne and the beer and the goggles and everything. And like the equipment managers have to like load it up. They had to load it up and take it to Indianapolis with them. And then after they got their butts kicked in Indianapolis, they had to load that stuff up and put it back on the plane. And they said that sucked so bad. Like that hurt so bad having to get that stuff load it all back in, and put it back on the plane, not knowing, are we ever going to use this?
So now I'm just thinking of the Pacers doing the same thing tonight.
Pacers had to do the same thing. Pacers had to bring their own stuff.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
Bob
awful.
Myers.
That's so
Bob Myers
weird.
was talking about it on the pregame when that bus clip came up. He's like, "Listen, we had 3 different games in 2016 that we had champagne ready to be popped at the end of the game, and never got to pop it."
Yep. And you
Dang.
have to bring it with you everywhere
That's
you
wild.
go. Unreal.
That's
Wow.
That's such a bummer.
Oh, look at us. We did an hour. We did an hour in the middle of the night.
We
All right,
right.
let's go.
All right, guys. We'll bring another pod to you
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. The championship celebration is going to keep going throughout
Keep
this
going.
week. Stick with us. Hey, thanks to all the dunkers. This is a dream come true for all of us. So we're very grateful. And we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.